Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yugioh VRains episode summary and cast list analysis discussion video. So, we just had episode 37 air last Wednesday. We have the summary and cast list for episode 38, which, based on the preview for 38, it seems like it could be a recap episode, so I'll go over the summary and the cast list, and I'll give my thoughts on whether I think it will be a recap or not, and just my overall thoughts on that if it is another recap. And we also did get a very small, I believe only 2 sentences of episode 39, but it pretty much tells us where the show is going to go next, the next duel that is going to happen. So, as usual, if you do not want any spoilers, now is your chance to click off this video. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So we're going to start with episode 38, Hanoi's Reminiscences. As the Tower of Hanoi, and a big thank you to DMC for translating as always. As the Tower of Hanoi gradually approaches its completion, Revolver reflects on the battle that has been waged in Yugioh VRains. And now, carrying on the wishes of Dr. Kogami with firm resolve, Revolver makes his move. And the cast list is very small. Yusaku / Playmaker, Kusanagi, Revolver, and Kogami. So, and this is being animated by No Gilbo, who again is their not by far, but he is pretty solidly their best animator. He also animated episode 21, so now 2 of the 4 seemingly recap episodes they've used their best animator on, which I don't really understand the logic there, because there's really just not that many new scenes, so I just don't know why they would do something like that, but it does seem like 38 will be, unfortunately, a recap episode. Now, the cool thing, and someone did point this out, is for 38, it was the first preview that was not narrated by Yusaku or Kusanagi. It was narrated by Revolver, and so it will be very, very exciting to see it from a Knight of Hanoi point of view, to see it from Revolver's point of view, to see Revolver kind of be the focal point for an entire episode. That will be cool, but other than that, is there much to look forward to? You know, this might be an episode to skip if you normally skip recaps, which I can't really blame you on, because based on who's speaking, it doesn't seem like we're going to get that much. Now, it's also interesting because 37 ended with Playmaker seemingly falling to his death. Now, obviously, someone's going to save him, and a few people suggested that Go was going to save him, but I don't think it's going to be Go. I honestly think Go is nowhere near where Playmaker is right now. I think maybe Kusanagi might use the program that failed to save Akira to log Playmaker out, or maybe Playmaker's D-board is going to come out of nowhere. Maybe the Ignis I will do something to help him. I don't think we'll get Go. Also, Go is not speaking in this episode, and I imagine by the end of 38, Playmaker will be safe and sound back on land. So I think this probably kills any thoughts that Go is going to be the one to save him. And if that wasn't proof enough, episode 39, The Fatal Bullets. Go Onizuka confronts Revolver and challenges him to a duel. Meanwhile, the Tower of Hanoi is getting closer to completion. ... So, Go and Revolver. This was a duel that I think a lot of us kind of expected when we thought about where the show was going when Blue Angel and Spectre were dueling. And it looks like Go will be taking on Revolver. And, you know, once I read this, I pretty much, you know, wrote a funeral speech for Go Onizuka, because he's not getting out of this one alive. He's going to get turned to data. In my opinion, I don't think there's any way that Go beats Revolver. And this is probably one of the more predictable duels that we've had since Playmaker took on Faust, probably. Well, actually, the Revolver Ghost Girl one was kind of predictable, too. But I thought the last 2 with Spectre, even though Playmaker was involved, and it doesn't seem like Playmaker is going to lose anytime soon, I still thought the Playmaker Spectre was a little more, could kind of go either way, maybe even get a no result than this one is. I just hope Go puts up a good fight, and if he puts up a good fight, and he does some cool summonings, and he, you know, has some cool resolve and some nice dialogue, I'll be happy with the result, but it will be cool to see Revolver duel again. And this could be, ladies and gentlemen, the last duel before Playmaker versus Revolver at maybe the end of this arc. So by episode 41, we could be entering really the very, very last stages of this Knight of Hanoi, of this Tower of Hanoi arc, I guess you can say, and the entire Knight of Hanoi arc that has been going on since episode 1. So that is very exciting. But back to 38 again. If Go also saves Playmaker from the collapsing bridge, and then Go and Playmaker are not going to split up again. Obviously, they're going to stay together, especially with all the death that has happened with Akira and Blue Angel. It's probably best to stay with a friend at this point. there's no way Playmaker is letting Go duel Revolver in his place. There's no way. So I don't think there's any possibility that Go is going to be the one that saves him, which I saw a lot of people comment, which would have been cool, but I just think they're literally on opposite ends of Link VRains right now, and whatever end Go is on has been really untouched, but I guess that's because he's been running to the Tower of Hanoi, and he's actually going to get to the Tower of Hanoi because he's the one that confronts Revolver. It's not like Spectre, getting in the way of Blue Angel, getting in the way of Playmaker. Go is confronting Revolver, so Go is going to get to the Tower of Hanoi. Will they speed duel around the tower like, Ghost Girl and Revolver did? Not so sure. Or will it be a Master Duel, the first Master Duel that we see Go compete in? That'll be another interesting thing to watch. We have had 2 Master Duels in a row, so we'll have to just keep an eye on that. But, yeah, 38, it does seem, unfortunately, like it's going to be a recap. And, recaps don't really bother me as much as I know they bother some people. And it is definitely irritating. I'm not going to lie and say it's, whatever. But the studio, the whole anime industry, they're just in a very tight place right now. And clearly, I don't think it's a matter of them not knowing what they want to do. I think they genuinely do know what they want to do. They just don't have the resources, it seems, to get these episodes out in a timely, non-break filled, non-recap filled manner. But before I get on to that, I am hopeful that in 38 we do see a little bit of Hanoi backstory. Now, I might sound like a broken record because I said in 29, the Kusanagi report, I hope we see how Kusanagi maybe and his brother Jin got separated, or how Kusanagi and Playmaker met. We didn't get anything like that. It was literally a backstory from Kusanagi's point of view, or a recap, excuse me. And this could be a recap from Revolver's point of view, but it would be cool to see how the Knights formed, how Revolver, learned of these whole programs through his father, Dr. Kogami, how Revolver met Vira and Faust, and how maybe his father met Vira, Faust, and Gnome, because we do see those 3 lying unconscious in the pods. And I think if the Knights of Hanoi are going to cease to exist after episode 45, 50, whenever this arc comes to an end, we should at some point know about how Revolver met these characters. So I don't think it's that ridiculous to say, with this arc maybe having 10 episodes left, let's learn a little about the Knights of Hanoi. Let's learn why they formed, and maybe we can understand a little more about this group, and we can say, well, you know what, they're not just a terrorist group like we all kind of thought they were. They're a group that, the end goal, what they're doing to get to the end goal, not really ethical, but that end goal is very ethical, and it's going to save the world. So let's get a little, not saying that is the case with the Knights, but let's get a little backstory. Let's get some, Revolver past. Let's get some Vira, Faust, Gnome past. Let's hear him talk about, his fallen comrades and what they meant to him and what they meant to the Knights of Hanoi. And I'm hoping that's what we get in 38 instead of just backgrounds. Because the other thing is, we already got recaps regarding the Vira duel, regarding the Faust duel, regarding the Gnome duel. They're not going to recap what they already recapped. And I doubt Revolver is going to, well, I guess he could, I guess he could reflect on the Ghost Girl duel, and then the Blue Angel Spectre and the Spectre Playmaker duel. I guess he could, because those are 3 duels, and I think that's exactly the amount of duels the Kusanagi report covered. So that's possible, but, I want to hear him, I don't know, I want to hear him and Kogami talk a little more. I want to hear him monologue a little more about the past of the Knights, and I just hope that that's what happens instead of us getting a pure recap episode, or even like a new stuff in the first 3 minutes and then nothing the next 20 minutes. That would be a real shame. But again, I understand why it happens. The studio is clearly in a very overworked place right now, and they can't just give up the time slot on TV Tokyo and not run an episode. Like, I know myself and a lot of people would just rather see them take time off, but they can't really do that because of assumingly the contract they have with TV Tokyo. So they're forced to put out an episode every week, and these recaps, which were since 13 every 8 episodes, this one is the 9th episode, 29 to 38, but that makes sense because between 29 and 38 they had a week off. So it makes sense that they pushed the recap back an episode. They had an extra week to work on stuff. So it just seems like they really are. And I think that's honestly why we don't get these summaries in 4s anymore. With Arc 5, we got the summaries in 4s consistently the entire duration of the show. Now it's very rare at the beginning of the month to get summaries, full summaries with the cast and with the who's scripting and storyboarding and directing it in 4s. You just don't get that anymore. So I think that's also because they don't know what's happening. In episode 40 and 41, they're still probably working on those episodes, and it's sad. It's a shame. This company's worked on Yu-Gi-Oh since the very beginning, so it's it's tough to see them in the position they are in. But hopefully this will not be a recap like a lot of people are insinuating, and like it's definitely fair to speculate. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. It'll be cool. You know, leave all your predictions on the Go Revolver duel. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. I don't think anyone is going to pick Go to win, but if you honestly think Go is going to win, more power to you. I'd love to hear your reasonings for it. I think this is definitely the pre-duel before Playmaker and Revolver. I think Playmaker might even show up at the very end of the Go Revolver duel. Go says some final words to Playmaker, turns into Data, and then the final battle for Link VRains for humanity's sake begins between Playmaker and Revolver. So anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed the video, the Friday video today, and please leave all your thoughts on 38 and 39 down in the comment section. I will talk to you down below in that comment section. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you as always for the crazy amount of support you guys give me, and I hope you have an amazing day and an amazing weekend.
Cause